Okay, this is citrus grafting in Gainesville, part 7, and it's now the end of April, and this graft has been here about 3 months, since January, if memory serves, and I've looked at it from time to time by unwrapping the black electrical tape, and you'll see here that there is some healing callus, which is white in color here, under the tape. Looks like a nice graft, and so I think it's ready to leave exposed to the air and sunshine, and this will gradually harden up. We will leave the tape above and below just for mechanical stability while it gets stronger. And here you'll see the two trees at the bottom. One is in a pot, the donor tree, and this is the trifoliate in the ground, the rootstock. You see the trifoliate has put on some nice new growth up here. See the 3 leaves now. That lets you know that's rootstock. So if you ever have a question later on, if your tree dies back or if you have new sprouts below the graft, you'll always be able to tell that it's rootstock because of the 3 leaves, contrasted with the single leaf of the Chinese honey that we're grafting onto it. So here we are in the rest of the garden. There's a Chinese honey with some nice blossoms that you can see. It's a little late, but it was a rather unusual spring. We had our first frost at the end of February, and we had some really warm weather, and then it turned cold again. So the Chinese honeys are a little late in blooming this year. We don't normally see a bloom at the end of April. I think it's April 25th today. So I'll take you through the rest of the yard. Here's some seedling Tananashi persimmons in pots. You can grow these from seed. They're a lot of fun. Some daylilies which are blooming. Here's a seedling satsuma with full bloom. Again, this is a late year for blooms for citrus in Gainesville, but better late than never. I've heard that many places bloomed a little too early this year in Florida, and the bloom was destroyed by the cold. Now here we have a peach tree which is being grafted onto 6 pots full of rootstock peaches, and you see the rootstock is really grown. This is all rootstock here. You can see that the donor peach is just beginning to bud out a little bit, maybe an inch, whereas the rootstock has grown probably 2 feet. And the donor tree is just barely beginning to bloom. There's a couple of blooms here at the end of April. At any rate, here again is the same type of graft with the bark skinned back, the black electrical tape, and I'm sure it's doing fine, but we will unwrap some of this and show you. And that'll be in part 8 because these get a little bit long if I try to do it all. Again, you'll have to pinch back all the suckers on the rootstock below the graft. This is a disadvantage of grafting. After a year or 2, the tree will quit trying to put out new growth below the graft. But in the meantime, you'll get that green thumb by rubbing off some, here's one, needs to go, rubbing off some new growth.